Stačí? Kde pak je? Tady. 2014, no nefarmil. 2014. Good times. Jak dlouho to trvalo? 2 hodiny. 2 hodiny jsem čekal. Nominace, herní inovace, debut game, příběh, New York Times. Ty kamo, tak kam až to ještě půjde, ty jo? On dělal ten samý vývojář i Firewatch, nebo se to s něčím pletu?
Je suis dans la mémorise.
What the fuck?
Sur la pluie des loups et je n'attends.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Ale čete, já že vás to vůbec nezajímá, já tohle musím říct story, jo. A Jim Sterling je asi úplně nejvíc quoted, jakoby herní novinář všech dob vedle Tutle Biskyta, budíš mu za mě lehká. A je teda pravda, že zrovna tohleto je fakt titul, který taky s tím jako hodně spojený. Kristově rány. A to že teda tady dostal takhle quote, tak to by teda brutálně překvapilo. Ty bláho. Ještě jsou tady nějaký fotky. The Original Remake. Člověk roku. Member Zone Maintenance. Dobře, takže tohle je zavření. A jdeme teďko dál. Tamhle je Smiley Button. Ale čete, já si ale fakt vybavuju, že jsem toto určitě v originále viděl, ty vole. Ale to by tam ani nemohlo být, že jo? 29.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
What the fuck, kámo, co tady děje normálně? No a tohle je zavření. The Serious Room 2013. Ježíš, to je tahle ta místnost. Oni vás tam zavřou za cheatování, že jo? Mám takový pocit. Já to pak musím zkusit, ty vole. Jak by nebyla hotová? No, ona ta hra měla 9 endingů, myslím, ale nebyl tam jako úplnej true ending, pokud vím. No a kam teďko se má se vrátit?
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Yes.
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Steam reviews?
Ježišmarja. Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Ježiš, kámo, to si děláš prdel.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
To je pravda, to je pravda. Počkej, vy jste tady fakt říkali, že teda True Ending byl už v originální hře? Já se kámo nepamatuju, ty vole. Ale tak mi to schválně spoilerujte a necháme to být, protože to mě upřímně fakt zajímá, ty vole. Steam reviews. Tak pojďme dál, kam dojdeme? Možná, že bude na konci Half-Life 3 třeba. Možná. Nejsou nějaký pozitivní.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
White as Sterling? Ježiš, kámo, to jsou fakt hlášky. Je super, že po 10 letech máte vypadat skoro pořád ten samý hlas, je to tak, no. Ježiš, a tady máme dokonce už i vodu, jo.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
A na sídla? Ten týpek předělal tu recenzi na upload místo download, jo? Ježíš, kámo, nezvládl ten tlak normálně. OK, ty vole. Tak to je masakr, ty vole. Tak je to tam vyhlášeno.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. that the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore...
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are or were or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer.
Yes, yeah.
That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large... Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story.
Hodně štěstí.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days. Months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich...
A je ticho. Jak může být dlouhá doba po jednom roce? 12 let třeba? Konečně umřel. Ty kráso. Ale tady prostě pořád není jako žádná cesta odsud. No okej. Tak dámy a pánové, zkusíme to, no. Ty začínáme fakt docela nervózní z toho normálně. Ty kráso.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything.
Jako kolik času může proběhnout?
The end is never the end, 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 is never.
No to je pořád zatéká víc a víc normálně. Ty krávo. Kolikrát jsme zmáčkli to tlačítko, čete třeba 9krát by to mohlo být. Jako to bude, kámo, fakt jo, nekonečně let toto podle mě. Ale já odsud prostě pořád nemůžu se kam dostat, že jo? Wow. Skipnul se svůj život? No kámo, ty vole, kdyby svůj život, jako no. Dá se odsud někam dostat? Ne, nedá se vylízt nahoru. Kámo, to jsou fakt třeba jako stovky tisíc let už, ne teďko třeba. Může skákat, nemůžu. A to tak koukám, že i kdybych ten skok měl, tak stejně to nevylezu usud, že jo? To ten žebřík? Já to kámo takové nevidím, ty jo. Ty krávo. A teďko najednou prostě je tady ty vole konec bez slunce, jo. Jako kam až to chci. Kam až to. To jsem zase, kam až tohoto chce jít, ty jo. Kam už i ten button spadnou. Holy shit. Co si děláš? Portál 3, no vypadá to tak. Můžeme někam dojít schválně? Asi to můžeme, že jo? No, jak je to? What? Počkat, co? Ty jsi to rozbil? Měl jsem dát normálně teda skip, jo? Takže šlo to vážně ještě potom jednou skipnout? Seriózně? Skip nešel. Takže tohle je prostě další ending, že ty vole skončí svět ve zkratce. Ano. A pak ten všetci někdo mi volá. Kde je ta pevná linka?
Hi Stanley, just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
OK, dobře. No tak jdeme teďko dodělat ty dveře konečně, ne? Že jo?
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
Let's go,
Click a
konečně.
door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Tak opět 50krát.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Let's go. 20 kliků, 417. Jdem na to.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Dobře. A 437. Jdi tam, ne? 437. Je tam zbytečně moc neonů.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415 bylo tady v této chodbě, že myslím. Taky tak napadlo, jestli náhodou jste ten test popularizovala walking simulátory. No, tak spíš tohleto je jakoby kompletně nový žánr her.
Now back to door number 437.
Jaký máš rank ve Vale Driftu? No jsem skoro master teďko. Mám Emeralds 2, myslím. Počkej, 417? 417, myslím. Jo, ještě jednou. Jo. Počkej, říká 437? Jsem dement normálně. Dobrý, tak já teda tyhle zapnu subchat prostě. A hotovo.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
Copy machine, ta je tady za mnou.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Je tak těžký napsat jako do skupiny prostě, musíte mě tady s tím otravovat. Děkujem.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
To je tady nahoře, super. Tak znovu.
Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Tak a 416 je tady vevnitř, jo. New content. Doufám, že to je tady. Nechci to kámo dělat už po třetí. Prosím, jak tam ty dveře jsou.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Kámo? Chci svůj achievement? Proč to nefunguje? Co jsem udělal špatně? Co jsem udělal špatně? Co jsem udělal špatně? Bug. Je to asi bug? Jaký bug, vole? Doslova jsem došel ke dveřím, to je všechno. Musíš rychlejc. Tomek, já mu neříkám ani ve straně tohle. No nicméně, OK, fuck it. A jdeme tako pokračovat. Jaký kámo content jsme ještě neprošli dneska? Jako, ještě nám toho podle mě fakt chybí jako strašně hodně. Já si brutálně matně vybavuju, že tady by ještě někde měl být nějaký otevřený okno. Kam se dá nějak dostat, nevím jak. Jdi tam? Já už jsem tam jednou byl. Chápeš? Jakože mám to celý teďko projít ještě jednou? To je asi kravina, ne? Vážně to mám ještě jednou celý projít, jo? No OK. Tak let's go. Tak co, už se papové uklidnili. Super. Let's go. Jinak 4 roomka 416 je aktuálně buget kvůli triggeru s new contentem. OK, tak to je pochopitelný. Takže tohle ten achievement prostě aktuálně tam není jako hotový, fajn. Děkuji.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable. and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be.
Okay.
The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy.
Yes, ma'am.
So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
What the f... Let's go!
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Ježiškám, já bych chtěl Stanley Parable 2. Upřímně. The end is never the end again. Investor Showcase.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Ano. Hlavně long-term franchising potential, ty vole, přesně tak. Je to, že mám tam jakoby nejdřív líst, aby ti řekl ten nový content a pak se tam vrátí, protože ten dialog ti přeruší ten quest, jasně, už to chápu. Jsou zpátky, 2 dveře. Neuvěřitelný, kámo. Logo Ideas. What the fuck, kámo. Stanley Parable 2.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Touto cestou na show floor nové featurey, nový obsah, OK, Expo Hala 2,
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Tlačí exkluzivně tlačítko, který říká jméno hráče, který hraje hru. Let's go! Kde? To chci zkusit. Kámo!
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
Hello,
Just
chat.
play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Okay.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim,
Takže já mám jako dělat
sleeping
RP na
and
Jima
waking
prostě.
as Jim, falling in
Jimmy
love
Jallout.
and being heartbroken as Jim,
Jimmy Jallout,
seizing
ano, přesně
all
tak.
of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Okay.
Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Okay. Hello, my name is Jim.
Jim.
Neuvěřitelný,
Yes,
kámo.
you see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the gym button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Neuvěřitelný. Už se těším na druhý díl. Absolutně kekolezní start. Road to the perfect button. Too big, too small, just right. Tak WTF. Tak pojďme dál. Jak vypadá to, že tady toho nového kontentu je teda spousta?
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
No screenshots. Prosím, žádné screenshoty. New updated ray trace. Tohle je in-game? Tlačítko, který řekne jméno hráče, který říká, který hraje hru. Jump circle. Nekonečná díra. Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. Merch. Let's go. Toto tričko je nejlepší nová feature. Já to s vámi zkusím, jo. Neříkejte, že to bude fungovat ten QR kód. Vidíte na oficiální stránce Stanley Parable 2. To jsou fakt mentálové. Bože. Počkej, oni fakt udělali... Ježiš, počkat. What the fuck, kámo? Moment. Stanley Parable 2, sequel. Stanley Parable sequels a ty.
Say there, Timmy. What's that you're enjoying? Why, it's breakfast, of course. Everyone loves breakfast. But did you know that breakfast is getting a sequel? That's right. It's called Lunch. And critics are raving that lunch will be everything breakfast was and more. With a little luck, we may even get a trilogy series out of it.
Ok, tak kámo, jakoby říkat obědu, pokračování snídaně, mě to tady nikdy nenapadlo, jako jo. Okay.
Say, you know what a sequel is, don't you, Timmy? Why, sequels are the world's way of clinging helplessly to the past. We all want more of the things we love, and we're all afraid of change, which is what makes sequels so popular. New ideas are dangerous, Timmy.
To má 10 minut, tohleto. Bože můj. Nech to celý, ne, když tak pozdějc. Jdem pokračovat. Tak, ještě nás toho tady, kámo, čeká spousta. No screenshots, tak začneme třeba tudy, jo, schválně.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Počkat. Get Well Someday. Happy 12th Birthday. Get Well Someday zní dobře.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Okay. Počkej, to je všechno. Jdeme dál. Jí tu někde... Zaseklej balónek. A dveře, let's go. Pipin by vysvětlil, že si klikne
maybe I should have gone with...
takhle.
No. No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Free New Plus Easy Achievement. Nevěřím tomu, že to je tak jednoduchý. Get it here, let's go. Chci achievement. Free achievement, vemte si ho. Zmáčkni páku. Získej nový achievement za 3. a to je všechno. It just works! Pořádku.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in a sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Jak kdybych tam poslyšel, kdo tam mluvit, ty vole. Žádný achievement. Hrozná smůla. Jdeme zpátky. Sixteen times the detail, ty vole, přesně tak.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Jak tady toho fakt ještě je spousta. Nový content je ten Jump Circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Já nemůžu použít už žádný skoky. Za celý zbytek všech dalších průchodů? Tak seš úplnej čurák, hro? Prostě ne? Bože. To je pain. Hele, collectibles. Collectibly? Let's go. Oh.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Takže ty musíš pozbírat všechny panáky a není z toho vůbec nic. Let's go. Jedna ze 6. No ale kde je těch 5 dalších?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
OK. Tak kam teďko dál, ty kráso? Tyhle, tady toho je nekonečně. Tady je ten merch, že jo? Tlačítko vyvěří říká Jim. Reassurance bucket, jsme ještě neviděli, že jo?
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
Takže to je
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal
Může s tím někoho praštit.
even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Could you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Okay.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay. Mám kyblíčete.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Tak, kam teďko dál, ty bláho? My jsme ještě neviděli tu nekonečnou díru, že jo? Kýbl srandy doslova, no. A kde pak je ta díra, ty bláho? To je tady? Proč má Cloud ruce ten kýbl? To je dobrá otázka, ty bláho. Rim? Depth Infinite, Surrounding Area. Whole Entrance Infinity. Oh, what the fuck? Na co je ta reference ten kýbl? Na Team Fortress 2?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Takže vážně.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
A nebo to nezmáčknu.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
A když tady vlastně počkám teďko. To mě fakt zajímá. Jako asi už tako tady není jako nic další, co bych tady mohl použít, že jo?
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Když tam skočíme znova, tak to něco udělá? I s tím kýblem, jo? Já to zkusím ještě jednou.
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much.
Tak mám rád díry, promiň.
A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Ta díra se zmenšuje, tak by to fungovat nemělo.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole.
Let's go,
if this
díry.
starts to become a thing where... Wow, okay, yes.
Ona se vážně
I'm
zmenšuje.
starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
To jsem se zavěděl.
Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working?
To si děláš, prdel.
You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago.
Já vás
Try it
zabiju,
again.
chat.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Já jsem doslova dostal softlock, který je napsaný in-game. Na ten kýbl skoč. Ho. Zvuk. Ha. WTF, magická díra. Chat. Já to věděl. Každá díra je vždycky magická, akorát někde to trvá díl. What the fuck like, ty vole. děje do prdele? Change your reality. jsou psy. Změnit sebe? What the f...
Stanley? 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 Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
To je čurák. No a to je opět všechno? Holy shit, jasně. No to je prostě taková úplně absurdní softlock mechanika, nemám k tomu vůbec
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Celá ta hra ten velký halus, no kam nejlepší na tom je to, že ona celá ta hra dává smysl totiž, jo. Tak, možná kromě některých absurdností. Hele, jdeme dál. Co jsme ještě z těch feature neprocházeli? Co jsme ještě neprošli? Collectible achievementy. Hele, tak jsme ještě nebyli, kámo. Exit. OK. Proč
All
má ten
right.
kýbl?
Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
No to jsem překvapený, ty vole. No screenshots.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
Ano,
Yes, I
hlavně
know
dílo
it's not
úžasná.
exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Let's go.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
collectively.
sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could, but it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Já se fakt poseru prostě. The fuck is going on? Prostě on normálně udělal nový menu. Prostě jen proto, aby ho udělal. OK. Znič si hru na Twitchi, ano, přesně tak.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a...
Vážně? Počkat. The sequel is now paused. Balónky. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Já se poseru. Takže doslova, teďko, co jsme všechno dělali, tak je to, že jako budou najednou balonky po kancelářích. Prostě, kámo, ten kýbl to je taky. Nevěřím. The kýbl is here. Dám si ho vzít? Já se vezmu.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
A co já s tím kurva budu dělat, ty jo? Tak, může si prosím teď jít konečně udělat ten achievement? Oni to zavřeli, tu místnost. Tady byl new content a tak už to neprůchozí. Konečně. Ten kýbl tě má pomáhat s psychikou, ale já to
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
Konečně.
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. You see, now that you've gotten the bucket involved, my standards have gone up.
Nah.
Merely clicking a single door is no longer enough. Now, I want to see you press this bucket against multiple doors. Now that's the kind of thing that merits an achievement. Why don't you put 20 bucket touches into door 417?
Já se mám 20krát dotnout kýblem dveří. To se dělá špíču ze mě už, ale vážně. The fuck is going on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Máš klikat?
Okay, great.
Aha.
Now, go touch the bucket on door 437 a few times.
Snažil jsem se, ano.
Yes, now we're getting somewhere. How about door 415? Give it some bucket love.
Takže teďka mám najednou úplně jiný dialogy, jenom kvůli tomu kýble, jo? Ježišmarja.
Now back to door number 437.
Já možná ten achievement dneska ještě udělám, ty jo. Na zbláznění. Absolutní medvěd.
You know, I think the copy machine needs some attention. All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Protože se to roznova s kýblem.
Okay, now bring the bucket on top of employee 419's desk. Yes, this is great. Now the bucket knows exactly what it's like to be employee 419. Now, let's introduce it to door 416. We've almost got it. Now make the bucket and the copy machine touch again.
Kámo, já tomu nevěřím, my to možná fakt zvládnem. Kde je ta kopírka?
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 touches of the bucket on door 430.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes! We did it! Wow! That felt amazing. You know, not all buckets will get this kind of experience. They won't all know what it's like to slam repeatedly against nearly every door in one section of an office building, or what it's like to be employee 419. Buckets may dream of an experience like this, but few can say they've truly lived it. You've given a bucket hope today. Stanley, I'm very proud of you.
Děkuji. No, a teď jdeme teda přemýšlet. Jako, doslova konečně jsme tak udělali tu novou část hry a teďko nám tyhle chybí ještě nekonečně kontentu. No, takže já teď jdu přemýšlet a jdu hledat. Telefon už nezvoní, že jo?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Tohle je vážně hrozná otázka, my vlastně chceme vždycky doprava.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No a teďko. Já teda mám osobně pocit, že tu část hry máme už projektu úplně celou. Mám osobně pocit. Takže nemám.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Děkuji, čeře, protože já se strašně matně vybavu, že tady nějak nefungoval fall damage někde.
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket... But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Dobrý, takže prostě je tam nějaká plošina.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Tak, takže znova pravá.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. What a room, Stanley. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Jakože to vážně má nějaký vliv na hru, to silně pochybuju, kámo.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Kámo, tady je ale vážně platforma, normálně to si dáš prdel. Jak se tam mám kurva dostat, ty? Achievement odepčen, you can jump. Aha. Tady je venta. Ježiš, nespadni, Cloud, nespadni.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
OK, děkuji. No, skákat teda dolů nebudu. Takže teď se teda jakoby úplně nenápadně vrátím zpátky a tady je teda nějaký úplně absurdní průchod, který tady předtím taky nebyl. What the fuck?
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Ježiš, kámo, je to prostě zase. Musíš tam jít s kýblem? Ale hovno. No ale ty vole. Vážně seriózně tam musím jít s kýblem, jak se to říct, jo. Ok, tak já tam dojdu prostě s tím kýblem.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
No,
and here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Na subgift ledru, tak je jeden gifted a jeden gifted, ty vole.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Tak jsem to.
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
Co to je za kýbl do prdele?
No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so...
kýbl, tak to potřebuji vysvětlit, čete.
What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
I can monetize it.
Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Half-Lifeu. Já se poseru. Takže ten kýbl má nějaký úplně absurdní lore prostě ještě okolo toho. Aby to jako nebylo málo. Děkuju ti, Arone, děkuju. rozhodně chyba nejseš, děkuji. No okej. Mě to tady říkal, že mám zkusit odpovědět telefon.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Já se kousnu
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Co myšli? Kýble se stav, vypadá to tak, no. Byl to? Kde ten telefon do prdele je? Jak to, že ho nemůžu najít? Dobře, já se to vezmu do ruky schválně.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Je to za výtahem. Takže tam je přímo ještě telefon zaplo... Jo, já už vím, který telefon myslíte. OK, tak let's go.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back.
Já se ještě zeptám, mám ten true ending udělat s kýblenou bez něj? Mám to asi udělat nejdřív bez něj, že jo? Kámo, děkujeme Entropiku. Let's go. Poprvé bez něj, OK, uděláme to poprvé bez něj. Poprvé bez něj.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend.
Jo.
So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Tak dámy a pánové, chcete konečně zjistit, co se v té týře děje? Tak teďko vám to konečně řeknu. Let's go. Jdeme dát true ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Figurine Finders Committee. OK. Po celém dni hledání. Ahoj, jdeme.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
Antropek se zajišťuje vedení zase v Gifted Subech.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Tak a teďko. Za plošinou, a za plošinou je telefon. Říkám to správně, že jo? Tady ne, je to tudy. Yes.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Tak.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Tak a teďko, tady někde je to zásuvka. Počkat, vy myslíte v tom jakoby bytě? Já jsem mám úplně ztracený teďko, ale asi jo? Asi jo. OK. Yes.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone?
Yes, to jsem já.
Well, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits.
Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Oh, shit.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Okay.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Takže jakoby tím jak já dělám vlastně jakoby špatný volby, tak já tím vlastně ničím tu v úzovkách realitu okolo mě. Holy shit. Já jsem taky třeba úplně zapomněl na tohleto normálně. Bartoši, děkuju, bratře, děkuju. Už máme 14 subů. Let's go, děkuju vám, čas, to je nejlepší. Jste mláčkové moji. Počkat? Jedu špatně. Ne, teď se tam vrátím. A teď to udělám znova, že jo? Nebo ne? Ne, to nejde, vole. What the fuck? Já se mám vrátit na ten výtah?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Realita. To je pak otázkou, co vlastně to je realita, že jo? Takže oni aktuálně se snaží dostat nazpátek. Teď jsou tady všude zábrany. A tohoto se už tam nedá ani skočit, jo. What the fuck? Jak jsem včera říkal, že bude národ zlodějů a dneska miláčkové. A to se jakoby nějak jakoby vylučuje, vole.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Home free in the real world. Můžu já toto nějak breaknout, ten cyklus?
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
A jdeme opět doprava tím pádem.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Děkuju, Miky, děkuju. Znova? Jo, takže mě to semka nepustí dál teďka. A nebo to můžu projít? OK. Takže je kolevá prostě. Čtyře, jedna, 4-1-2.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
OK. Holy shit.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Tak dámy a pánové, když už to hoří, tak to úplně zničíme, ne? Let's go.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Boris už toho má plný zuby, vypadá to tak, no.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Bez té češky to je o něčem. Tohle to je nová verze. Ta češkinu ani nemám. A ten dabar je úžasný. Když půjdeš 9krát doprava, tak je speciální ending. Tomu nevěřím. Tomu nevěřím. Ale teda, jakoby zábavně na tom je to, já se fakt nepamatuju. Nepamatuju tuto věc. Musíš 9krát, dobře. Káva, jo? Tak já to udělám 9krát, jestli to neudělám nic.
Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
Dostaneš ultra permu. Ultra permu.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Dostaneš ultra deluxe permu, přesně tak. 4.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Dejte mu permu. Clueless. No já bych teda řekl, já to udělám naposled, jo.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Naposled.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Tak přátelé levá, jo. Tímto bych se rád omluvil všem, co se koukají na záznam. Můj chat je plnej trolů, jo.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. Takže teďko vlastně nás to posílá normální cestou.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
A je katnutý spodek, aha. Jasně. Toto je zavřený, že jo? Jasně. Tak a teďko. Počkej, ono to vážně vypadá úplně jinak.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human
The
life.
most expensive
Shocked,
boss.
unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Počkat.
Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Já se snažím. Nightshark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Držte hubu, čuráci, fakt normálně. Tohle je nejhorší chat prostě.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Kámo, tohle určitě v originále nebylo. Určitě ne.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay?
Ne.
Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
What the fuck?
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me?
Kámo, tohle to nemůže být true ending.
You listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay.
To nemůže být ono tohleto.
You need time to decide.
Já jsem úplně ztracený dneska.
Your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Díky, ty jsi taky král. Ale... Ne. Žádný nastavení mikráku tady není. Já se po to ještě podívám, jako jo.